Hello. Welcome to the channel, everyone. And today I'm going to talk about the first lesson of Rich Dad Poor Dad book. So, yesterday we talked about the introduction, and today I'm going to talk about the lesson one, which is the rich don't work for money. And this is a little longer chapter, even though I have marked some key points and especially some stories or paragraphs which are very, very important. This video can be a bit longer. So let's start, and I will try to keep it as short as possible, but wherever it is important to share you the details, I will share them, so that even though you don't read this book right now, you can have a good idea about what is going to be mentioned in this book. Also, I would recommend, if you are really enjoying the book summaries, you can order. If you are enjoying these videos and you are interested to read about this book, you can order the book through the link given in the description. Yes, so right now let's start. So the first statement in this chapter is the poor and the middle class work for money, the rich have money work for them. So what is that? Normally, every day what you do, or what most of the people do, is they go to a job, they work there, and they get the salary. And this is how most of the poor and middle class work. They go to a job, they work, and they get the money. And the rich have money work for them. So, but rich use the money in a different way, because the money you are getting from a job is being paid by some rich people. So they are actually using money to use money so that it is working for them, like you are working for them in exchange for the money. So that means the money is working for them, and you, as a person who wants the money directly from the job, without thinking creatively, going through the pursuit of running a business or managing tasks, you just go to a job and get money. So this is the difference. We'll learn more about how rich have money work for them in upcoming chapters. And there is a very other than the important lessons that the rich dad is going to give us in this particular lesson, there will be a very good business plan executed by Robert and Mike in this chapter. So it will be very interesting to listen to that. Okay, so the lesson started with the Robert asking this question to his dad: Dad, can you tell me how to get rich? And this conversation goes on, but he's asking this question to the poor dad, his own biological dad, and he asked him why you want to know that, and he mentioned that he sees a lot of his friends go around into some affluent cars, going into some affluent places, and they don't let him come to them because they say that he is a poor guy, he's a poor child. So the dad mentions, and this is his educated dad, so even though he is like the way it is shown in this book is more or less like he don't know much about how money works, but the only good advice he gave over here, which is very, very significant, because from here he will move on to find what money is, how money works from the rich dad. So what he gives, he said, if you want to be rich, you have to learn to make money. So this is a very good start for Robert to actually think about money. So when he asks again, how do I make money, the father said, well, use your head, son. Or also sarcastically, Robert is saying, even then I really knew that meant that's all I am going to tell you. Or the other thing, I don't know the answer, so don't embarrass me. So it's funny, but anyway. Then what happens is he talks to his friend Mike, who is best friend, and they said that we are going to see how we can make money, and they discuss with each other, they form a partnership, and then what they did is they decide that we will make money. So they got an idea that we will collect some toothpaste tubes, and they started collecting it from all the people around in their society. And earlier the toothpaste tubes that they used to have was made out of lead, and they decided to just collect all of it, and they started putting them in their home, Robert's home. So his mother was giving them a notice that this is like too much messy, you can't do that, just get it out. So they decided that they will start the production of whatever they were planning to do it earlier, so that their business does not get end before even starting. So they started executing the plan. They started boiling out those tubes which was made from lead, and put them into some POP structure, so that they can give them a shape. And what they were doing is they were converting lead into nickel, so by doing this boiling and reaction. So then they have a conversation with their dad, who was observing them and watching this, who was very cautious of what they were doing. And like that's how the story goes. And what happens is, like they got to know that they can't do this. They were planning to actually make some nickel, or more specifically they were trying to counterfeit the coins. I'm not sure that they were counterfeiting coins, but the way they mention in the chapter is that the thing which they were doing was illegal. So maybe they were planning to sell nickel out of it, but it was not allowed. Okay, so anyway, so his dad mentioned that this is illegal and you can't do that. Or so then he also goes on to mention that if you know some we know about like this much about money, why are you not rich? So this father said that because I choose to be a school teacher. School teachers really don't think about being rich, we just like to teach. I wish I could help you, but I really don't know how to make money. So this is what his father said. And but also now again his biological father mentioned him, why don't you ask Mike's dad? And Mike was very surprised when he heard that, because he thought that he was also poor just like Robert. But Robert's dad mentioned that no, Mike's father was doing something very great. He's building an empire, and the way he's working on things, he can give you the right advice on how to make money. So then they decided, okay, they will go to Mike, and then they will start working. They will start learning about how money works and how to go around it. So the lesson begins. They get an appointment with Mike, because Mike is always busy, and they were waiting for him. And finally, when they got chance, this is what Mike said: okay, here is my offer. I will teach you, but I won't do it in classroom style. You work for me, I will teach you. You don't work for me, I will not teach you. I won't teach you. I can teach you faster if you work, and I am wasting my time if you just want to sit and listen like you do in school. That's my offer, take it or leave it. So this is like a offer as well as ultimatum offer to them. If you want to work, if you want to learn, you have to work under me. So this is how most of the internships goes. But fortunately, the intention of this rich dad was to actually teach them about money, not just make them work hard like labor. But anyway, so he forced it that again, very important paragraph, not take because he asked, oh, may I ask a question? Then he said, no, take it or leave it. I've got too much to work to do to waste my time. If you can't make up your mind decisively, then you will never learn to make money anyway. This is very important. If you can't make up your mind decisively, then you will never learn to make money anyway. Opportunities come and go. Being able to know when to make quick decisions is an important skill. You have the opportunity that you asked for. School is beginning or it's over in 10 seconds. Mike's dad said with a teasing smile. So then they both said, take it. So they finally took it, even though they have games on Saturday and everything. They decided that they will work for on weekends for whatever time they had. And so on the Saturday they were working, and after working for 3 hours they got 30 cents. So 10 cents was the offer that he mentioned that you will get, and so for 3 hours they worked and they got 30 cents. And he got frustrated, Robert, and he said, "I'm quitting," he said to Mike, and the Mike smiled. He said, what are you laughing at?" He said, "Dad said this would happen." And he said, "What?" "He has been waiting for me to get up, to get fed up." And Mike said, "Sort of. Dad is kind of different. He does not teach like your dad. Your mom and dad lecture a lot. My dad is quiet and a man of few words. You just wait till this Saturday and I will tell him you are ready." He said, you mean I have been set up?" He said, "No, not really, but maybe. Dad will explain on Saturday." So this is how it goes, and then they will start waiting online on Saturday, and they have to wait a lot of time before they got to talk with the Mike's father, which was again part of the lesson that Mike said want to give them. So the name of the rich dad is not mentioned. He has been shown as rich dad everywhere. I will share with you the name if I get to find the name of this person tomorrow. And so finally, after waiting so long, they got to talk with the rich dad. So the rich dad said, "I understand you want a raise or you are going to quit," rich dad said as he swiveled on his office chair. And so the conversation started, and they said, "You're not teaching us, you are not doing the things correctly, you are doing like forcing child labor on us," saying so many things he gave in his arguments. Some of those arguments came from his poor dad, who also got to know that this is how he was operating. But anyway, so he said one interesting thing happened is, which he said, "Well, you have never talked to me. I have worked for 3 weeks and you have not taught me anything." So he said very interesting thing. So listen to this. "Does teaching mean talking or a lecture?" Rich dad asked. "Well, yes," I replied. "That's how they teach you in a school," he said, smiling. "But that is not how life teaches you. And I would say that life is the best teacher of all. Most of the time, life does not talk to you. It just sort of pushes you around. Each push is like saying, 'Wake up, there is something I want you to learn.'" So this is a very important thing which Rich Dad mentioned. So he was just sharing about how money works. He was also teaching them a little wisdom from the life. He also goes on to explain more about this. Life pushes all of us around. Some people give up and others fight. A few learn the lesson and move on. They welcome life pushing them around. To these few people, it means they need and want to learn something. They learn and move on. Most quit and few like you fight. So it's like this. Everyone is being pushed by life. Some people fight, some people quit, some people just keep moving on. So but he was happy that he fought with them. We will get to know about this in a while. So he also mentioned this later on, that these two boys were the first out of the 150 people that have worked for the rich dad, who asked him about how to make money, and to teach them how to make money. So everyone was coming there to him for job or to get some money, but they were there to learn how to make money. So this is why he said that when Mike told him how to make money, he said he will design a course in such a way that mirrored real life. I could talk until I was blue in the face, but you couldn't hear a thing. So I decided to let life push you around for a bit so you could hear me. That's why I only paid you 10 cents. So anyway, so some funny conversations after that, and then they start fighting and everything, and So then he explains that some people just quit. Okay, this is a very like kind of important, so I'm going to share with you. What happens is now the rich dad and Robert is kind of arguing. I mean, Robert is arguing and rich dad is playing his game, which is, so Robert is saying, well, if you don't pay me more or show me more respect and teach me, I will quit. Rich dad is, well put, rich dad said, and that's exactly what most people do. They quit and go looking for another job, a better opportunity and higher pay, actually thinking that this will solve the problem. In most cases, it won't. So what shall I do? I asked. Just take this measly 10 cents an hour and smile? Is that smile? That's what the other people do. But that's all they do. Waiting for a raise, thinking that more money will solve their problems. Most just accept it, and some take a second job, working harder, but again accepting a small paycheck. So now Robert was confused. Okay, if I can't do this and can't do that, both of these things are incorrect. So what is the solution? What will solve the problem? So the rich dad tap on his head and said, this stuff between your ears, use it. So funny way to put it, but it is very, very important lesson for him. And then he explained his point of view over and over again. That's why he's called this lesson number 1. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. So, and then he continued his lesson that that I'm glad you got angry about working for 10 cents an hour. If you hadn't got angry and had simply accepted it, I would have to tell you that I could not teach you. You see, true learning takes energy, passion, and a burning desire. Anger is a big part of that formula. For passion is anger and love combined. So when it comes to money, most people want to play it safe and feel secure. So passion does not direct them, fear does. So this is very interesting, and this is a thing to ponder over as well for me and for everyone else, that you have to ask yourself right now, are you being motivated to make money due to the fear or due to the passion? So if you have the love or anger related to make the money, then you have the passion to make money. Else you are just making money because of the fear of paying bills and everything, which we will get to know. So now rich dad said, because it's easier to learn to work for money. I'm skipping most of the paragraphs in between and sharing with you relevant stuff, so don't get confused when I jump around, but try to understand how to connect the dots. No, rich dad says, simply because it's easier to learn to work for money, especially if fear is your primary emotion when the subject of money is discussed. So for most of the people, it's easy to work for the money, learn to work for the money, which is being taught in school, learning, going in a job, if fear is your primary emotion. And for most of the people, fear is the primary emotion to make money. Don't worry about that for now. Just know that it's fear that keeps most of people working at a job, the fear of not paying their bills, the fear of being fired, the fear of not having enough money, and the fear of starting over. That's the price of studying to learn a profession or trade and then working for money. Most people become a slave to money and then get angry at their boss. So now Mike asked a very good question. Learning to have money work for you is a completely different course of study. Absolutely, just that answered absolutely. So then they had a little conversation again, and they said, the rich dad said, I have kept my promise. I have been teaching from from afar. My rich dad said, at 9 years old, you have gotten a taste of what it feels like to work for money. Just multiply your last month by 15 years, and you will have the idea of what most people spend their life doing. So they earned a very measly income by working for money throughout that time. So rich dad is saying, if you multiply that with 50 years, that's how people make money most of the time. They just do the same thing, and they just rely on their paychecks or their salary for most of the income, and that's how people work for the money. And now he goes on to explain another things, which is taxes. He said when you make money, because he said that actually at least you got 100% of the money that you earn, like around 30 cents for 3 hours. But when you go into a job, you have to pay taxes as well. And government, the way it works is the government always takes a share first, so they take taxes. And why do people let the government do that to them? Now he said very interestingly that rich don't, said rich dad with a smile. That means that rich people don't let the government to take taxes from them, or at least they don't let them to take all the money in the way that they take from poor class or middle class. So here's a very special statement which is said, the poor and middle class do, but I will bet you that I earn more than your dad, yet he pays more in taxes. So this is interesting, that even though he's making more than his dad, but he is less in tax, paying less in taxes. So how? So we will get to know more about it later on, but if you know already, then it's good. You can comment down right now if you know, so for other readers to have a look. As I said, there is a lot to learn. Learning how to have money work for you is a lifetime study. Most people go to college for 4 years and their education ends. I already know that my study of money will continue over my lifetime, simply because the more I find out, the more I realize that I need to know. Most people never study the subject. They go to work, get their paycheck, balance their checkbook, and that's it. Then they wonder why they have money problems. They think that more money will solve the problem, and don't realize that it is their lack of financial education that is the problem. So that's how this goes around, and we are blessed to skip few paragraphs. But now he leave them alone, and for 3 more weeks they work again, and they can't think of anything. The rich dad parted with them with the idea that think how you can make money, but don't rely on the paycheck, which they are not getting right now. They are working for free right now, so they have to think about how to make money while being working for free under him. But they were working for 3 weeks now, and they were not able to neither make money, neither they were able to afford the comic books which they were able to do earlier. Now rich dad starts giving some lessons again, and he said, well, you guys had better start thinking. You are staring at one of the life's biggest lessons. If you learn it, you will enjoy a life of great freedom and security. If you don't, you will wind up like Mrs. Martin and most of the people playing softball in the park. They work hard for little money, clinging to the illusion of job security and looking forward to a 3-week vacation each year, and maybe a skimpy pension after 45 years of service. If that excites you, I will give you a raise to 25 cents an hour. So now this is very funny because he is offering now to them now that if what he mentioned excites you, he is going to pay them 25 cents an hour. But they refuse because they were more interested in learning about money. I'm sure if there were some other kids who were more like they want instant gratification, they would have said yes. But these kids were good. They know about delayed gratification, or like however they practiced it anyway at that time, and they refused. And then he started playing with their minds, and he said $1, $2. Now he is increasing the offer, and right now $2 is a lot of money for them. And they say here, Robert said it is like he will become a richest person, but still he refused somehow by thinking over his emotions, not under the influence of emotions. And he was testing them again and again. And Robert is giving a little reference over here, which is said he understood that The rich dad understood that every person has a weak and needy part of their soul that can be bought, and he knew that every individual also had a part of their soul that was resilient and could never be bought. It was only a question of which one was stronger. But then the rich dad said $5 an hour. So after everything which you said, $5 an hour. Right now, till that point, till the $2 offer, they were getting the temptation of saying yes, but they said no. But now after when they said $5, this was too big and ridiculous, and now they they got over the emotion, and they could think clearly, and because they didn't give in to the temptation, now rich dad is saying, good. Rich dad said softly, most people have a price, and they have a price because of human emotions named as fear and greed. First, the fear of being without money motivates us to work hard, and then once we get that paycheck, greed or desire starts us thinking about all the wonderful things money can buy. The pattern is then set. This is very, very important, because this is how most of the people, including me and you, live. What is that pattern? He asked. The pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills. People's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. Offer them more money and they continue the cycle of increasing their spending. This is what I call the rat race. So this is how most of the people live. Now they goes on to talk about this fear and greed a lot, and then he said, so the question is, Robert asks, you mean the most people in this park, the people who work for you, Mrs. Martin, they don't do that? They don't think about how they are feeling? That's what is the exact question. Rich dad said, I doubt it. Instead, they feel the fear of not having money. They don't confront it logically. They react emotionally instead of using their heads, Rich dad said. Then they get a few bucks in their hands, and again the emotions of joy, desire and greed take over, and again they react instead of think. So their emotions control their brain, Mike said. So that's correct, said Rich dad. So this is how he's trying to explain how humans in general are being controlled by the emotions of fear and greed overall, and how these things are being influenced, how their lives are being influenced by them. So a very important line, an insight that you can take into your head, let this sink into your subconscious mind, which is people's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. So they get up and go to work hoping that a paycheck will kill that fear, gnawing at their soul. Money is running their lives, and they refuse to tell the truth about that. Money is in control of their emotions and their souls. Not a very good way to live, but that's how most of the people live. Okay. Now, skipping few paragraphs, he talks about the other emotions, desire. Some call it greed, but I prefer desire. It's perfectly normal to desire something better, prettier, more fun or exciting. So people also work for money because of desire. They desire money for the joy they think it can buy, but the joy that money brings is often short-lived, and they soon need more money for more time, more pleasure. Sorry, no more time. Time is another thing, but the thing he mentioned is more money for more joy, more pleasure, more comfort and more security. So they keep working, thinking money will soothe their souls that are troubled by fear and time. Why I'm saying time and time again? Fear and desire, but money can't do that. And he also goes on to explain, even rich people do these things not because of the fear, not because of the desire, but they do it because of the fear that they can lose their money. So they keep on making money. They believe that money can eliminate the fear of being poor, so they amass a lot of it, only to find that fear gets worse. Now they fear losing their money. I have friends who keep working even though they have plenty. I know people who have millions who are more afraid now when they were poor. So Many are emotionally desperate and neurotic, although they look rich and have more money. So this is how he is explaining that even the rich are not all the rich people are safe from this emotions. They are also being driven by it. So a very funny question Robert asks is, so not work for money until all the traces of fear and greed are gone? Is this a solution? He said no, that would be a waste of time. Emotions are what makes us human. The word emotion stands for energy in motion. Be truthful about your emotions and use your mind and emotions in your favor, not against yourself. So after this, he said, for example, if the fear of not having enough money arises, instead of immediately running out to get a job, now he's saying that because most people are stuck in these emotions, they can't think. So right now he's trying to explain that if they actually think instead of just letting the emotions ride them, they might ask themselves this question: will a job be the best solution for this fear over the long run? In my opinion, the answer is no. A job is really a short-term solution to a long-term problem, but that's what most of people look for, a job. I want to teach you to master the power of money instead of being afraid of it. They don't teach that in school, and if you don't learn it, you become a slave to money. So this is very important. He is saying that he want to teach him the power to master the power of money. So many people say, oh, I am not interested in money, yet they will work at a job for 8 hours a day. So this is important insight from the same thing which I mentioned earlier as well. And then there are other important paragraphs which are: the main cause of poverty or financial struggle is fear and ignorance, not the economic or the government or the rich. It's self-inflicted fear and ignorance that keeps people trapped. So you boys go to school and get your college degrees, and I will teach you how to stay out of the trap. The trap he is mentioning is rat trap, which we said, that get up, go to work and do that again and again. That is rat trap. So now he is saying that by not giving into your emotions when he was giving them the offers, you were able to delay your reactions and think. That is important. We will always have emotions of fear and greed. From here on in, it's imperative for you to use those emotions to your advantage, and for the long term, to not let your emotions control your thinking. Most people use fear and greed against themselves. That's start of ignorance. Most people live their lives chasing paychecks, pay raises, and job security because of the emotions of desire and fear, not really questioning where those emotion-driven thoughts are leading them. It's just like a picture of a donkey dragging a cart with its owner dragging a carrot in just front of its nose. The donkey owner may be going where he wants to, but the donkey is chasing an illusion. Tomorrow there will only be another carrot for the donkey. So the donkey's owner is just like a boss or an owner of a business, and the person who is working in a business as a job is more or less like a donkey. And these carrots change for the adult people. So for example, he's saying the moment I picture a new baseball glove, candy and toys, that's like a carrot to a donkey. This is what Mike is saying. But the rich dad said, yes, and as you get older, your toys get more expensive. A new car, a new boat, a big house to impress your friends, said rich dad with a smile. Fear pushes you out the door and desire goes to you. That's a trap. So after that, he goes on to explain different things, but very important thing he mentions that in an educated society with a well-run government, prices should actually come down, which does not happen. Normally all the prices do rise, inflation and everything, but this is what is saying, and in an ideal society, in an educated society with a well-run government, price should come down. Of course, that is often only true in theory. prices go up because of greed and fear caused by ignorance. If schools taught people about money, there would be more money and lower prices. But schools focus only on teaching people to work for money, not how to harness money's power. So, he goes on to explain other things. Then he said, learn to use your emotions to think, not think with your emotions. When you boys mastered your emotions by agreeing to work for free, I knew there was hope. When you again resisted your emotions when I tempted you with more money, you are again learning to think in spite of being emotionally charged. That's the first step. So this is a very important thing being displayed by those kids, and that's how they got this lesson. As we headed back to the store, Rich Dad explained that the rich really did make money. They did not work for it. He went to explain that when Mike and I were casting, this is very important, were casting 5-cent pieces out of lead. So they were not making lead, which I mentioned earlier. They were actually casting 5-cent pieces out of lead. So thinking we are making money. So they were making money in that. So we were very close to thinking the way rich think. But the problem was that creating money is legal for government and banks to do, but illegal for us to do. There are legal ways to create money from nothing, he told us. His dad went on to explain that the rich know that money is an illusion, truly like the carrot for the donkey. It's only out of fear and greed that the illusion of money is held together by billions of people who believe that money is real. It's not. Money is really made up. It is only because of the illusion of confidence and ignorance of the masses that this house of cards stands. So this is a very important thing, that when all the people believe in money, then only it has a power. Otherwise, it is not so relevant. So now he parted with him with a lesson that keep working, boys, but the sooner you forget about needing a paycheck, the easier your adult life will be. Keep using your brain, work for free, and soon your mind will show you ways of making money far beyond what I could ever pay you. You will see things that other people never see. Most people never see the opportunities because they are looking for money and security. So that's all they get. The moment you see one opportunity, you will see them for the rest of your life. The moment you do that, I will teach you something else. Learn this and you will avoid one of life's biggest traps. With this, he ended his lessons at that moment. But interesting thing happens after that. Now they started this, like they were thinking about all the things that it said, and they were looking at this comic comic store in the shop they were working. So there was this comic sections, and things happened. They talked to the guy who are giving the comics over there to that shop, and Robert asked him, can I have those comics with him for some purpose. He didn't mention the idea at that time, but he said yes, you can have them if you are going to work in this at this place, which is working at the Mike's dad place. So if you are going to work at this, and you can't resell it, so you can have them, but you can't resell them, and also you need to work at this place. So that's decided that okay, they are going to do that. Now he shared the idea. What they did is they collected all those comics and made a library for all the kids who were in that place, and their sister managed that business. Mike's sister actually managed their business, and she can read all the comics when she has free time. Other than that, she was managing it, and they made $9.5 per week over a 3-month period. That is a good amount of money that they make compared to what they were getting through the Mike. But more importantly, other than the money, Robert said, instead of paying us money, Rich Dad had given us so much more. Now they know how to make money work for them, and they don't even they were working at the place a different place at Mike to learn how to make money, but at the same time they were making money by setting up a small business of a library where they were keeping comic books. So people would come, kids were coming reading comic books, and they were paying them money. So this is and he was charging them for like hourly basis. So this is how they started making money, and by putting their money to work. Okay, so that's all the relevant stuff in lesson 1. These chapters are a bit longer, but at the same time because I shared you whole paragraph I like in story format and shared you the key points in that format only. That's why this video is very long, and we have around 8 more chapters to cover as well, and some chapters are very small, so some videos will be more or less like 15 to 20 minutes, but the next chapter is again a little longer. So for now, what are your key insights that you got from this chapter throughout this video? Do write this in the comment so as to keep your brain working, and also if you know any other way that I can improve these videos for you as well as for improving my learning process by teaching you, you can share those in the comments. If you do like the video, do like the video and share the video, and subscribe to the channel by pressing the bell icon as well, so that you get the notifications for these videos. Thank you so much for watching the video. Bye bye. See you tomorrow in the next lesson of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Till then, have a great time.